Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to come discuss something that I'm starting to notice more and more in our industry. And I didn't used to see this as much. I saw it with a lot of other um, business structures and whatnot, but I'm seeing a lot of VAs who are starting to struggle with the imposter syndrome is I think what most people call it, or like it's that imposter like phenomenon, thinking that you're not good enough, starting to doubt like your experiences, what you bring to the table. So I really want to dive into this because I think it's something that it's really important for us to be aware of and tackle early on. And just a quick introduction for those of you who do not know me, I am Ray and I train virtual assistants. I'm the founder of the virtual assistant business Launch Academy, and I also recruit your online team for small business owners. So if you're on either side of the fence there, I would love to talk about to you and just learn more about what you're doing, and I can share what I do as well. So some tips I just want you guys to think of as imposter syndrome comes up for you. When you start having these feelings that you're not good enough, that, where I see it often is someone will sign on with a client and they feel like um, that the client made a mistake. Like, why did this client hire me? Or why did the client agree to pay me this much money? Or, if you got that promotion at a job and all of a sudden you're like, I don't think I'm actually qualified to do this. This happens, right? And we need to be really aware because this is what holds us back. When we start doubting ourselves, we're not going to perform to the level that we could naturally perform to. And so there is a reason that that person hired you. They spoke to you, they know your experience, they know the quality of work that you have provided in the past, and they see your potential because any good recruiter or hiring manager is looking at not only who you are now, but the potential that they see in you that is beneficial for their company. If they didn't think you were the right person, they wouldn't have hired you. People don't just hire you for fun. Like, we don't hire people because we want to fire them, right? Like, we hire them because we think they're going to be successful in our company. So as you start to, engage with this feeling and start to struggle a little bit, I want you to really look at the facts. Look at what you've done, look at your resume or your portfolio and remind yourself of all of the good work, all of the years that you've put into what you're doing. Or, maybe it's that degree, whatever it is, look at the facts and just really see like what you actually have accomplished. And then find someone who is safe, but also someone you trust and would give you, positive but honest feedback. We don't necessarily want to do this with our coworkers, but it could be a spouse or a best friend or a mentor, and we want to let them know how we're feeling. Okay, if you're starting to struggle with it and you don't trust those facts that you just reviewed, talk to someone you actually care about and see how they view you and what they see of the situation looking like. Okay. And then, number 3, make sure you are celebrating your successes, because we need to know when we're doing well, because we're going to congratulate our coworker or a client on a big launch, or we're always there to be other people's cheerleaders. So we need to make sure that we're being a cheerleader for ourselves as well. If you just published a paper or you just finished a website or whatever it is that you've accomplished, make sure that you celebrate it and see that all you are doing and the value that you're bringing to others. And then we have to let go of perfection. Okay. Perfection is one that I struggle with, but perfection is not achievable. If you truly struggle with perfectionism, it doesn't matter how much you put into something or the point that you get to, like, it's still not perfect. And we want to provide value. We want to provide quality work, but we can't be so stuck on perfection that it holds us back, because like perfection can like debilitate you. So you have to be very careful with like a desire to submit quality work versus perfection. And then I want you, I talk about inner talk or like, self-talk a lot, but just be compassionate with yourself. Would you treat someone that you care about like this, And most likely you wouldn't. And so just catch yourself in these moments, and then don't create shame or guilt around it either. So if you catch yourself being mean or negative or whatever it is to yourself, just acknowledge it. Take a deep breath, maybe take a moment, take a walk, and then move on. Okay. So you don't need to have shame or I'm always so mad at myself, or I'm so negative. Well, then you just start doing it a different way. So acknowledge it and move on. And then one thing that I think can help a lot is when you share a failure. So if something went wrong, or you failed in some way, and that is what kind of prompted your imposter syndrome to come out, I want you to share that failure with someone or like a group. So if you're in a group, maybe you're in a group of VAs, if you're a VA, or, we all have different professional networking groups. If you have a failure, I challenge you to share that failure and how you're feeling in the group, because I would bet you that there's so many people in that group who've been right where you are, made that mistake, struggled through what you're struggling with. And as we start to hear that we're not alone in this, and a lot of people are experiencing this, it helps us feel better. We realize that like this is common. We are people, humans make mistakes, right? And the more that we just kind of start realizing it, that not everyone else is perfect around us either. Like we're all trying our best, and we're going to have these hiccups along the way. And then, the last thing here is just imposter syndrome is going to pop up for anyone at any time. Like it takes a lot of self-awareness, a lot of intention to really work through this. And so I do challenge you just to accept it. And kind of like I said with that, when we start realizing that we're having a lot of negative self-talk, we also acknowledge this and we just kind of see it. We do some work that we need to do around it, and we accept it, and then we move on. So those are some tips I have on how I've seen people work through imposter syndrome, how I've worked through some of it myself. And I encourage you to not let it hold you back. Don't self-sabotage because you think you aren't good enough, because I guarantee you are good enough and you've done amazing things. You're just not allowing yourself to see it.